State MY, they do have a leniency to actually ban off the Arlot as well as the Fredrin a little bit more, but the question here is Fanny going to be let through? Because we've talked about how potentially the Mincetar is going to be changing the dynamic in the draft in this coming season. We haven't seen too much success on it yet. That's one. Two, Fanny also taking a very, very huge drop in terms of win rate over the weeks as well. So I think this is something that Lunatix may consider taking advantage of, because a lot of majority teams don't play it here. But RSG Slate MY, the response here, they're targeting on Uni's Hayabusa, respecting based on his track record in the previous week. They don't even want to play against it at all.
Honestly, that's really weird. Hayabusa as a hero is not usually banned out in the first phase, and while yes, Uni has played it before, I wouldn't really call it a signature hero of his either. So RSG are banning this hero in order to execute on some kind of specific strategy that they want to play. Question is, what is that going to be? Perhaps they want to retain map control, not allow Lunatix to easily spread their influence to create space for Jome.
I think that's the thing about Lunatix, right? Like, Hayabusa may not be a big significant to other teams here, but when in the hands of Uni, it looks really, really good in most of these games here. And I guess RSG Slate MY is trying to limit Uni's options here. But with that being said, Fanny in the pool, something that Uni does play, something that Ling-Eiza does play as well. We haven't seen a lot of victories on it as well, but it seems like they might need to play a little bit more standard first as a safety net. So that is going to be the Arla for Zeno for Lunatix, while RSG State MY, I'm curious to see how Repo fares up against Zeno. This is pretty much the first time going up against each other, and so far Repo doesn't really like this matchup at all.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because Repo is a very aggressive EXP laner. Zeno does what needs to be done, not necessarily the ego challenging type. He will participate in team fights where necessary and will do what needs to be done in the lane in order to achieve that. Arlet going to be a very strong option, so that opens up heroes like the Martis, like the Fredrin, like the Faramis, going to be pulled away from the side of RSG Slate alongside the Kaja. Instantly, really strong initiation from RSG Slate MY.
Okay, I like this. You know, this is something that RSG Slate MY can work with. They've got a lot of mobility, they've got a lot of lockdown, the double pull isolation tactics coming from RSG Slate MY is going to help them split the fight a little bit better. At the same time, you know, they do have a decent amount of magical damage. So I'm guessing RSG State MY may be falling back a little bit, hoping that Ling-Eiza might be bringing in the Karina in their favor. So it could be a very, very big possibility there. But Lunatix, they will get the Fredrin as well as the Valentina. So Valentina have two very, very strong ultimates here to actually capitalize on in terms of isolation. But RSG Slate MY, they respond with the glue, so most likely the jungler is going to be a physical one.
The glue, that's interesting right there. Gonna be taken by RSG. Rippo, not sure if this is his most comfortable hero overall, but he'll do what needs to be done, which means RSG, I wonder if they'll start banning out what will they start banning out here? Lunatix still looking for their gold lane as well as their roam position. They're gonna start off by getting rid of that Beatrix, so a bit more focus there.
This is smart. This is smart. Like, RSG Slate MY is just banning off I wouldn't say they are banning off meta heroes. They're respect banning Jome's heroes right now. And so far, Jome has had a lot of huge success with the Beatrix as well. Claude has been a stable performance coming from him. So I guess that's the idea what RSG Slate MY is going for. But the question here is, the next ban that is coming in from RSG Slate MY needs to be taking out the Melissa as well, because that is also a hero that Jome is very, very done really well. And he's one of the very few marksmen that can deal with the Cloud Auto very quickly. So this is something that I think RSG Slate MY might be leaning on in that direction.
Yeah, I think it'll either be the Melissa or the Claude here, and whichever one RSG bans, they probably want to prioritize the other one for the Leals. Right now, their hero picks is a bit too magic focused, so they need their marksmen to be physical damage, so these are probably the best bets. And if they can give a good matchup against Jome, RSG Slate have already won one half of the game, basically. So this is an important choice.
It's weird. It is weird here, but they are hovering on towards banning off potentially the carry, but no, they're actually banning off the Moskov. All right. That's interesting. Maybe they are leaning on picking up Brody, perhaps?
That makes sense, I get. This is weird.
Like, okay, maybe, you know, they don't really want to, they want to prioritize picking a carry for RSG Slate NY to deal with the Frederick and the Arlott. I guess, you know, banning off the Moskov kind of allows that, but at the same time, it already opens up the Claude as well for Lunatix to actually deal with it. And now, immediately, as I call it as well, carry immediately gets shut down. So that means RSG Slate NY has two options now: Melissa or Claude. But no, they go for the Brody instead. Okay.
RSG just being very unpredictable right now. Brody not. I don't think we've seen Lolios play this hero at all this season.
I think going for the Brody, it's okay. You want to win your lane matchup is fine, but in terms of overall team fight against a Fredrin, it's tough. But it does give you a little bit of option here to actually stop the Arlott's combo position momentarily to set up for either Ramis or also the Kaja to play around with, I guess.
This does make sense, I guess, because Brody, they can take advantage of his early game kill pressure by comboing him together with Lexia to try and just cut off Lunatix from being able to zone and control the map. Just pick people off consistently with the Divine Judgment and the Brody damage, and hopefully scale up faster than Jome can in that sense. But they're gonna have to deal with the Claude, one of his signature picks, and
Smart.
Nova Escobar on the Franco.
This is really smart from Lunatix as well. This is a perfect tell coming from RSG Slate NY. They want to play around the Fanny. Is it going to happen? Yes, it is going to be the Fanny as well. They anticipated as well. Great setups, a lot of isolations here. They were limiting all the options that can potentially catch a Fanny, but Franco is one of the very few that Nova Escobar can play really, really well. And I'm liking this. They have a lot of adaptations, but the setups coming from RSG Slate NY looks really, really solid based on this draft. And I'm actually liking how much more flexibility RSG Slate NY can do in all these scenarios. Whereas from the side of Lunatix, they have this S-tier compositions where they need to dodge fights in order to challenge RSG Slate NY. In terms of utility, obviously favoring RSG Slate NY. They've got more room to work with. In terms of CCs, in terms of overall combo, they've got the Faramis to isolate people with those Shadow Stampedes. But for Lunatix, it all comes down to slowing down the tempo long enough, drag it long, where Fanny kind of gets outscaled in the later stage game. So I'm excited to see how both teams play this out.
Early game pickups, early game momentum, gonna be the name of the game between RSG Slate NY and Team Lunatix as we re-enter the Land of Dawn to witness a clash between two giants. Which one will come out victorious at the end of the day?
Well, this is where things get a little bit interesting as well. A lot of pickoff potential coming in from RSG Slate NY. And once those 4 comes in, this is where you can see RSG Slate NY will look to punish these small bigs.
Ouch.
Taking a lot of damage here. And this is what I'm talking about as well. You isolate the target, you pull him back, you are going to get a lot of value harassments coming from RSG Slate NY.
The win condition here for RSG is that early game pressure. They got Link Eza, man. When was the last time we got to see Link Eza on a Fanny? Going high and dry as well as Lolios with the killing spree. RSG, they know the assignment. Oh, the hook from Nova. Pulls Izanami to the tower. Fakes. He's gonna try and set this up. Izanami, will he be able to get away? He pulls out the regen. Just barely able to escape.
Yep, and as of yet, Team Lunatix, they are trying to set up the tempo. They were able to equalize a little bit down the middle lane. It seems like they are going to be trying to funnel away a lot of the attention towards the gold lanes here, which is something that I think Team Lunatix, they are very aware of, considering how aggressive they are. As long as Jome gets his farm, it's going to be all good for Team Lunatix. Eventually, Jome is going to be able to carry the game for the team, which is something that I think RSG Slate NY, they are very aware of.
Link Eza jumping straight in. He sees, oh, the hook from Nova! Catching Link Eza mid-air somehow, but he's still able to steel cable his way out. Meantime, Izanami trying to gank up top, but not successful.
Oh boy, that was a very, very interesting interaction coming from Team Lunatix with the hooks here. But so far, he does have the experience. He is very confident about this. But with that being said, Link Eza forced in the backseat here. Does he secure his purple buff first? Because he does have it now. And now here comes engagement.
Zeno with Divine Judgment. Final slash going to miss. Cold Ultra comes out to save his life. And Rippo somehow getting the last hit onto the turtle. Link Eza gonna be taunted, dropping low. Nova Escobar with the first blood. He himself will fall right afterwards. And Uni just barely able to not get the Appraiser's Wrath out. out. RSG Slate trading 1 for 2.
A little bit of mistakes from Ling Aza, but despite all the stuffle here, RSG Slate MY was able to go for the 50-50 coin flip, and Reaper was able to secure the turtle for the team. And this is the win condition that RSG Slate MY needs as well. They've got the early aggression. They know they can beat Lunatix in this fight. And if they are able to continue with this momentum, it's going to be all good for them. But from the side of Team Lunatix, on the other hand, they need to stall this long enough before Ling Aza gets super crazy. And here's a little bit of fun fact, right? It's no longer called High and Dry.
Oh,
it's called Master Assassin.
Man, I totally forget that.
It's weird, right?
Like, we get so used to High and Dry after all this time. But yes, it is Master Assassin now.
It's a Moonton thing, bro. Like, I'm so used to heavy spin, and then boom. Wait, sorry, I'm used to Hurricane Dance, boom, heavy spin from
Well,
Archive.
sounds like you're used to heavy spin now.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Either way, right now, RSG Slate continuing to control over this early game, but Lunatix still does have a lot of bulk. They're gonna be moving over to the turtle pit to make sure they can secure this, but it's still gonna take quite a while.
Yeah, but at the same time, Izanami, he just got his enchanted talisman, so that means the cooldown time on those count altars is going to be spot on almost every single time they start an engagement. But Lunatix, once again, they're having heavy emphasis on towards the gold lane once again to make sure that Joel gets his farm, and this feels like a repeat of back in the days how Red Esports plays this as well. It feels like a Mao gaming moment right here.
We don't really see that anymore, and funnily enough, it is actually Red Esports who won against Lunatix previously. So, seems like that sort of style not going to be as effective anymore. Lunatix definitely needs to spread their influence over the map a bit more. So right now, they're going to start by working on the turtle. RSG Slate instantly moving in, 4 members strong, even the 5th right behind them, Lolios. Facing out Zeno, he might be jumping too far. Divine Judgment instantly executed. What was he thinking? Cult Altar stolen away as they flicker forward, gets the bloody hunt. Uni securing the turtle away. Link Ezra trying to dive down. Izanami flickers forward. Shadow Stampede pulls 2. Fakes, he has Divine Judgment. Will he go for someone? Iron Hook going to find one. Divine Judgment. Rippo pulled under the tower and sacrificed.
Oh, this is huge coming from Lunatix, but at the same time, RSG Slate MY, they got a very, very good trade here, but at the same time, losing out Repo, who gives a lot of XP to his mid lane, doesn't smell of a good sign. The Valor having a lot of value here, but Joe into trouble.
No blazing duet. Will he survive a 1v3 situation? He's dashing away, but Lolios will get the final hit in. Doesn't matter how far you dodge. He's gonna be able to target him down. Fakes. Wants to see if he can get a bit of evening up, but no dice there as Ligeza now on top of Zeno gets stunned down. Drove dropping real low. Ligeza will choose to back this off.
This feels like a very terrible game for Zeno, but hold that thought for now. Divine Judgment being used from Uni. Not sure what Lexia was thinking. They don't really have the damage. But yeah, as to what we're saying as well, this feels like a very, very bad game for Lunatix here, especially for Zeno on this Arlot. You kind of want this Arlot to be very, very nimble in all this clumped up team fight. But as soon as you clump on the RSG Slate MY, they can punish you with all those Shadow Stampedes here. But top side,
Uni could be in a lot of danger right now. Torn apart memory, finishing him off. Lolios getting a lot of free farm right now. Ligeza, he sees Fakes, he wants Fakes, gets terrified, and Fakes will be picked off as Nova October left in the dust as well. Lolios with the killing spree.
oh, this is exactly... Ooh, that was close. That was close. Legs, yeah, almost cancelling off Nova's recall right there. But meanwhile, this is exactly what RSG Slate MY. They want to dictate the early tempo as well. They've got every early aggression. They've got kills on Lolios. They've got kills on Nexia. I was expecting more kills up on Link Aza for this Fanny, but oh, the thought for now, Uni once again.
Divine Judgment 1v4. No way he's surviving that mega kill for the Brody. Lolios is so farmed right now. Linkeza, he'll be forced to give up the bot tier 2, but his gold lane is looking real strong.
This is a very interesting way of playing the game here from RSG Slate MY. We don't see too much Brody because of the fact it's hard to dish out damage in early game. But if you set it up for Lolios to build up those max stacks and torn apart memories, you can literally one-shot almost anyone. And based on the composition for RSG Slate MY, there's nothing Team Lunatix can actually do. You kind of need the Diggy, you kind of need Purifies for this, but it was a little bit too late. The draft has been spent, the battle spells has been spent as well, but Zeno now As he goes out, he's dead. Oh no.
Ooh, they catch him out. Are they gonna use their final slash? Pushes them back. Cold Altar comes out as well. So somehow it's okay. He gets caught out by the Ghostbusters. Meanwhile, Fakes and Uni coming in from the sideline. They want to get it. Taunt on 2 members. Cold Altar popped down by Fakes as well. Dome, he's coming to join, but RSG Slate MY doing a great job of disengaging this fight. Rippo, will he try and cut this off? There's still 4 members of RSG in the area. Looks like no, they won't take that risk.
There's nothing much they can really do. Team Lunatix, they're throwing bodies for this, but eventually, RSG LNY is just so far ahead in terms of economy. They've got the tools to fight back, and even into Lunatix actually drops the count altar for Fakes, which we did see. They're very smart about this as well. If they drop the count altar, we don't have to do this, there's no point fighting, let's just back off. Why do we want to extend this when we can just play this safe, play for the next objective, and eventually Link Asa is going to be able to
the Iron Hook pulls Rippo into the tower. Link Asa comes in, instantly executes Nova Excobar, and Rippo actually gets out with the split. No dice right there. Praises Wrath.
Oh my god.
Of HP as a torn apart memory secures the unstoppable streak for Lolios 5-0-1. The Brody is a threat.
Oh boy. Gold ranking wise, you can see Lolios is so far ahead here. Job is barely keeping up. Beautiful stuff coming from him, but eventually they need more coming from Team Lunatix because Lolios now is starting to get a little bit out of control with his Brody plays. And so far, every single time Team Lunatix want to play, they have to play around this Iron Hook coming from Nova Excobar. And it's so hard. It's such a hit or miss. And even if you go for the hooks, right, who do you hook? Because regardless of whoever you hook, you are going to get punished here.
Speaking of hooking, Divine Judgment onto Zeno pulls him back, torn apart memory. Monster kill for Lolios as the rest of RSG dives into backline. Lexia going to be picked up as Nova gets the shutdown onto Lolios. The Brody has been picked off. Mistakes made by RSG Slate.
Oh, this is nice. This is really nice as well. A little bit too aggressive here in towards enemy territories. Team Lunatix was able to swap on towards Lolios. And this is a big comeback that Team Lunatix is. If they take down Lolios, boom, job's done. Link Asa not around, even better, because as soon as they went for that fight, they were able to scout out Link Asa pushing all the way in the bottom lane, and because of that, they were a little bit more confident to fight that fight compared to before.
My goodness, the way that Link Asa uses those steel cables is scary right there. Lolios, he did end up dying there, but luckily for RSG Slate, the kill did go over to Nova Excobar instead of someone like Fakes or Jome. So they can take consolation in the fact that the shutdown did not go to a Lunatix core. But a lot of their goal lead has been taken out right now. Lunatix, are they going to try and make something happen with this?
This is scary. This is really scary times here for both sides. Because RSG Slate and they're starting to lose out their early aggression here as Team Lunatix finally builds out a little bit more items to fight back here. 10 minutes in the game, Jome is starting to have a little bit more economy to challenge everyone from the side of this here. But now here comes the engagement.
Divine Judgment onto Jome, even though he flickered away. Cold Altar keeps him alive for a while, but not for long as Jome is picked off in exchange for Link Asa, who may have dived a bit too far. Lolios taking the engage. Iron Hook going to miss once again. Nova Excobar providing more frontline, but Lolios just dishing out the DPS. Luckily, no torn apart memory for them. Lunatix, that's all they'll take for now.
Nicely done coming from Fakes as well. He was able to stop Link Asa with a Divine Judgment catch to isolate the fight, and that's exactly what they need. But at the same time, we have reached towards the later stage of the game. Link Asa may not necessarily be a big threat here because as of yet, Lolios is going to be the biggest threat from the side of RSG Slate MY. Meanwhile, Team Lunatix, they cannot afford to lose Jobe just like that. This is something that I think eventually Team Lunatix needs to realize they need to force a fight, but to set it up for Jome to go in for the clean out. That's pretty much the layering of team fights they need in order to win this team fight against RSG Slate MY.
That's very difficult. Ideally, Fakes is able to steal away the Cold Altar because they need that to be able to take the fight against RSG right now. And personally, I don't feel like Link Asa has fallen off yet. He just needs to be more careful with his timing. He cannot be the one initiating the fight. So let Lexia and Rippo go in front first and spend some cooldowns, because otherwise it's so easy for him to get locked down. He still has plenty of damage that he can leverage.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. They've got like, I believe they've got antique Curas up on Nova Excobar as well. So Uni, a Dreadnought armor on towards Zeno as well. So it feels like Link Asa won't be able to do too much here in terms of overall damage output. He can try to burst down Fakes, but aside from that, Fakes is going to be focusing on making sure that Lolios doesn't do too much if he goes for the Divine Judgment route. But so far, we haven't seen a lot of count autos yet, and it feels like we've gotten to a stage where he may need to consider dropping those, stealing those count autos in order to win those 50-50 matchups, especially in this first Lord Pit fight.
As for RSG Slate MY, their goal right now gonna mainly be escorting Lolios around. Brody gonna do a lot of structural damage. RSG Slate needs to make sure they don't lose out in terms of macro, as now the Lord is gonna be contested once again. We can see full damage coming from Lolios as well as Link Eza. Rippo gonna be zoning out the members of Lunatix as RSG prepares for a potential ambush. The glue split has been popped. Conceal play comes out. Lexia gonna be pushed aside with the final slash. Meanwhile, split gonna be pulling Uni forward. Cold Altar keeps him alive. Massive chaos in the backline. Is Novak
Oh my god!
Jove instantly executed as Vegas is gonna follow. Novak Kumar somehow killing 3 onto Lolios again. Lexia dashing over the tower. Still, 3 members alive on the side of Lunatix against 4. Zeno jumps back in, trying to do some damage. Sets up for the Iron Hook. Miss. Taunt from Uni, keeping RSG in place. Lingeza, does he want to follow up again? Probably not. No purple buff. They're gonna aim for the Lord instead. Lunatix, do they still want to contest this? Probably not.
They have to buy time for this year. They do have the Rift 50-50 coin trade. It's just not worth it coming from both sides. But I like the layering coming from RSG Slate MY as well. Ling Aza's sole priority is make sure Jome dies, right? And just because Jome, he was trying to get into the Blaze duet, as soon as he shows himself, Ling Aza shows himself from the flanks, takes him out, and it demolishes him in this fight. And this is a problem for Team Lunatix. But fortunately for him, he just got his Winds of Nature. So I don't think Ling Aza expects this as well. So if they try to make an attempt and if they make a mistake, it's going to be trouble for them.
Yeah, Uni and a lot of danger. Divine Judgment onto the Fredrin. He may be taking too much damage as well. Appraiser's Wrath not in time. Final slash onto 3 members will not save him. And now Zeno's the one out of position. Immortality popped by the torn apart memory. He's trying to dash back in. He needs some HP, but he gets caught out. Double kill for Lolios as Lexi and Rippo continues zoning out Novak Kumar. Iron Hook on the backline. Izanami gonna get bloody hunted, but it's not gonna be enough. Izanami with the shutdown, killing spree, and it's gonna be Jome who gets that shutdown himself. Shutdown double kill. Jome triple kill in the backline. Lolios finally shuts him down, but Fakes gets the kill in return. Only one survivor on both sides.
Oh my goodness, what an all-out brawl here. Jome saved the day here for Team Lunatix. Things went so south when they were caught off guard with this pickoff from RSG Slate MY. He was able to equalize the sword with the Winds of Nature, turned the tides, kills off Ling Aza, stretched it out long enough to go 50-50s. And that being said, because of this, RSG Slate MY pretty much loses all their hero powers fight because of this one play. But for now, Uni and Team Lunatix, they cannot afford to make a silly mistake of being picked off again because of this play. Because it is going to be the full reset here. The Lord going to be dropping down towards to find the 2 bars.
Both teams have all respawned once again. It's going to be another brawl. Zeno jumping in. Cold Altar has been used by Izanami. Zeno flickering out. Rippo dropping real low. Lexia gets the Divine Judgment onto the back line.
Oh my god.
The Lord dropping real low. Lingeza secures it. Fakes gets the kill on the Lexia as Fakes will drop right afterwards. Immortality is going to be popped left and right as Uni finishes Rippo off. Lingeza gonna take Uni alongside him as Zeno finishes him off. And Jome in the backline dismantling them. And double kill onto Izanami before Jome himself falls. A full wipeout onto RSG Slate as Zeno finishes off the wave.
Oh my god, Jome, what an absolute god. They lost the 50-50 trade, but RSG Slate MY, they were all so considered in taking the fight and making sure that this Valentina doesn't drop this count altar. And as soon as they clumped up on him, Jome was able to get a free blazing duet on the sides and chip away at everyone from the side of RSG Slate MY. And Jome has finally come up online, and this is a big problem because as of now, Team Lunatix, they might need to shift their focus here, especially for Fakes. Does he still go for the Divine Judgment, or does he switch things up and bring in the count altar? Because so far, Team Lunatix, they have been trading 50-50s without this count altar stolen at all.
We're just seeing an absolute brawl right here in the Land of Dawn. Both teams not giving an inch. Lingeza trying to go for that split push. Will this final minion get it? Nope, they're gonna keep that alive. Lunatix need as many of their structures as possible. Like you mentioned, they have actually caught up in terms of farm. Their late game scaling gonna be very strong, but right now, they just lack map control.
Yeah, this is a problem for them as well. They need to find a way to stick together, and every single time they try to split off, RSG Slate MY is looking to isolate these fights and then pick apart. And so far, the biggest threat here is going to be killing either Ling Asa or Lolios from side Team Lunatix, and they need to kill either or. But so far, it's extremely difficult considering how mobile RSG Slate MY is in terms of setting up these fights. They've got 4 flickers. They can jump into it at any time in this fight. Lolios, he just got his Rose Gold meter. I like it, but it's not going to be a big threat considering that the one that's killing him right now has been Job so far.
But the big threat is the fact that Lolios may be able to survive just that bit longer, and that could be enough for him to get a torn apart memory out just before his death. Right now, being able to deal more DPS is very important as both marksmen already full on their items, the rest of their cores catching up very quickly as well. We are approaching the late game, and both these teams looking pretty even so far.
Yeah, pretty much almost max slotted on every single player here. We do see a fleeting time purchase up on Lixia, so that means he is looking to try and win those fights with those Divine Judgment, but for how long can he prolong it? Because as of yet, RSG Slate MY, they haven't been able to find those really good isolated targets here. So far, a couple ones on Xeno, and now Team Lunatix, they realize that Xeno needs to play around Uni in order to stack up against the Cowed Altar, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Catch as many people as possible from RSG Slate MY, allow Joam to have free reign in terms of war damage, and they will win those fights. Whereas RSG Slate MY, well, they need to play around and make sure that Lolios doesn't get picked off.
Lunatix, they've set up the slow push down bottom side. They're gonna actually force RSG Slate MY back. They're not confident that they can win this fight without losing an inhibitor. And considering the results of previous battles, they're not willing to risk a potential loss at this stage. Team Lunatix gonna instantly jump at this opportunity. Uni gonna be the first one to start aggroing the Lord. This is gonna be a dangerous one.
This is interesting. We do see a Twilight Armor purchase up on Nova X Gold Bar to try and limit some of the burst coming from Leos here. But with this coin 50-50 flip here, it is gonna be tougher once again.
Really nice play by Xeno, zoning away Link Eza so that Lunatix can secure the Lord. Will he lose his life for this though? Revo gonna split on top of him, forces out the flicker from the Arlet. Make sure he's not caught out. Uni with the taunt, but he may have dashed a bit too far. He'll be able to walk away for now. Praises Wrath, pulled him back into the team. Cold Altar comes out to keep RSG Slate alive. Meanwhile, Immortality popped down. Cold Altar coming from Lunatix as well. Lexia with the Divine Judgment pulling Uni back. Iron Hook onto the backline. Who did he get? It's Lolios. Dome gets the pickup. The hook from Nova setting up the enemy goal lane. The Luminous Lord pushing down bottom lane. RSG Slate MY forced to recall. Izanami left alone. He actually takes out Fakes before he's pulled away as Link Eza jumps in. Wind of Nature from Joe means that Link Eza, he's got to get out of here. He's able to escape. Still keeping his immortality intact. They needed to defend this Lord.
Oh my goodness, what a layering coming from Team Lunatix as well. The amount of patience, the dedication to set up this fight, and the moment Reaper pulled them back, boom, Uni was able to get maximum value out of those immortalities as well as the Cowed Altar, and because of that, Lunatix, they're able to turn the tides, and now RSG Slate MY, they've got the back seat. Lolio is back in 5 seconds left, and this is going to be a tough defense coming in from them.
Lord crashing in, mid and bot inhibitor on the side of RSG have already been taken out. Does Lunatix want to continue this push? Top lane, unfortunately, not synced up. They can't get one more tower. Looks like the choice is going to be to play safe for now.
Well, tough defense. You know, I was expecting Lunatix to put the gas into it here, but it seems like they want to play the safety route here just because of the fact that Fakes is a little bit too far off. They need his Cowed Altar in this stage of the game, and we saw the maximum impact coming in. But of course, with that being said, Joe finally popping off as well. He's got the sprint. This is something that they need to worry about as well. They need to kill him, but the hook!
He gets the hook! Leos puts them back into the blazing duet! Cold Altar from Izanami not gonna save his teammate's life! Lexia left by his lonesome. The Divine Judgment stolen! Pulls away! Link as a Winter Trunkin will only save him for so long! Uni with a double kill! 2 members of RSG Slate alive against 5. Flicker hook. Nova going to miss on Izanami, but doesn't matter at this point. Final Slash pushing RSG out of the way because they have their eyes set on the Crystal. Lunatix steals